Welcome back to another episode of Naperville Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Josiah Schneeman. Our fall sports season wraps up this week, but on this episode, we have our winter sports preview show, where we let you know what to watch for over the next several months. Let's tip off the show with basketball, as Patrick Cotto and I give you a glimpse of what's to come on the hardwood.
We begin with Bennett Academy, a team that's always a dangerous threat in the ESCC and is eyeing another strong season. Last year, the Red Wings recorded another 20-win season, along with capturing a regional championship before falling in the sectional semifinals to Wheaton-Warrenville South. The Wings will certainly miss their big man Kyle Thomas after his graduation, but they do bring back other ballers like Nicola Abusera, Sam Driscoll, Brady Konka, along with others who contributed last season and are ready to take on a bigger role this winter. Those returners showed that head coach Gene Heidkamp has faith in his seniors, helping out the rest of the squad on the court. We begin with Bennett Academy, a team that's always a dangerous threat in the ESCC and is eyeing another strong season. Last year, the Red Wings recorded another 20-win season, along with capturing a regional championship before falling in the sectional semifinals to Wheaton-Warrenville South. The Wings will certainly miss their big man Kyle Thomas after his graduation, but they do bring back other ballers like Nicola Abusera, Sam Driscoll, Brady Konka, along with others who contributed last season and are ready to take on a bigger role this winter. Those returners showed that head coach Gene Heidkamp has faith in his seniors, helping out the rest of the squad on the court.
I definitely think they've been through some of the battles, so that experience is definitely going to help them. I think they have good leadership abilities just in general, but that experience is invaluable. Now, that having gone through, playing in the state tournament, having gone through our conference, playing at Pontiac, and those types of things, that experience is so valuable. I think it's just going to benefit everybody. But their leadership is something that we're counting on in a big way.
Those seniors and the rest of the team will tip off their season in the St. Charles East Thanksgiving Tournament on November 22nd. To the DVC portion, starting with Neuqua Valley, who captured another regional title and won 22 games a year ago. If the Cats are looking for another 20-plus win campaign, they will need to replace graduates Cole Vaname, Jaden Dean, Kurt Lamentad, Nick Kincaid, and Erica Skurskis. Players like Nick Lendino, Chris Urbanov, and sharpshooter Luke Kincaid return to the hardwood, hoping to build on last season's success. If NV wants to not only capture another regional title, but win their first sectional since 2009, it starts with another challenging schedule, starting with the Oswego Hoops for Healing tournament over Thanksgiving weekend. Waubonsie Valley enters the winter with second-year head coach Andrew Schweitzer, along with many seniors who got varsity playing time a year ago. The Green and Gold do lose 3-year player Tyler Helbing, but should have enough to replace his contributions like Tyler Threet, Braylon Spicer, Troy Raffi, and big man Jackson Langendorf. This group is looking for a fourth winning season in a row and first regional title since the 2018-2019 season. Every year in the DVC features a tough schedule, but this Warrior bunch is ready to accept it and tip off their 2022 campaign in the Batavia Invite on November 22nd. Going up Yolo Road to Metea Valley, where the Mustangs haven't won a regional title since the 2014-2015 school year. It's been a couple of tough rounds for the Black and Gold, but this season's squad is poised to surprise everyone after picking up key wins against Neuqua Valley and Naperville Central a season ago. After the graduation of Charlie Nosek and Zach Stefjan, coming back is Charlie's younger brother Jake Nosek, who is entering his sophomore season, along with junior Nick Schroeder and seniors Quentin Schaefer and Javion Grizzle. The juniors on this year's team went undefeated in conference last year, which gives head coach Isaiah Davis a lot of reasons for optimism. Their season begins in the Wheaton Academy Tournament on November 22nd. Naperville North did not have their best regular season on the hardwood, going only 4-6 in the conference last winter. However, once the postseason hit, they were in business mode, winning a regional final in upset fashion. The 12-seeded Huskies took down 5-seeded Naperville Central in the semifinals and 4-seeded Lake Park in the regional championship to capture the plaque. Unfortunately, that Cinderella run came to an end in the sectional semifinals against defending 4A state champs Glenbard West, one of the best teams the state has ever seen. The Blue and Orange will be losing contributors like Jake Torcasio and standout Zeke Williams, but his brother Luke is back for his junior year, followed by Jacob Nolan and Cole Arl. It will be exciting to see what Gene Nolan's squad will bring to the table, and it starts with the annual Hoops for Healing Thanksgiving tournament against Oswego East. The Huskies' crosstown rival Naperville Central won 19 games in the regular season and finished tied for second in the DVC behind DeKalb, but failed to win a regional title after ending the season with 4 straight losses. Now the Redhawks have to regroup after the graduation of James Jopes and DVC Player of the Year Jonah Hinton, along with Montez Silas transferring to Vermont Academy. Simon Krugliakovis, Michael Boyce, and Grady Cooper-Kawa are the only 3 varsity players coming back for their senior year and are looking to lead the charge with fresh new blood on the hardwood. The Hawks' first game will begin in the Maine East Thanksgiving Tournament on November 21st against Ridgewood.
The Bennett Academy Red Wings once again established themselves as one of the best girls basketball teams in the state last season, going undefeated in the ESCC at 7-0 and posting an overall record of 30-5. The success during the regular season propelled them to a conference and regional title, knocking off Naperville North in the sectional final, then winning a super sectional and reaching the 4A state semifinals against Stevenson. Unfortunately, they came up short, but still managed to bring home the program's 4th state trophy in 6 seasons. The Red Wings will have to replace key players in Margaret Temple, Olympia Kokines, who committed to the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, and Navy commit Morgan Demos. They do return Maggie and Amelia Solarski, Sam Trimberger, and most importantly, one of the top players in the country in Lene Beaumont, who is committed to Indiana. The senior has already accomplished so much under head coach Joe Kilbride, but there's always room for improvement.
We're trying to get her to learn how to walk that line of being unselfish and team first, but at the same time to be dominant when you need to do it and know how to, flip that switch and go from nice facilitator to complete dog.
Well, I really want to win state. I know that's a long ways away, but obviously we had a chance to win it last year, and that was a really cool experience, so I want to just go back down to Redbird Arena and get it done this time.
She hopes to elevate her game to even greater heights this season and help Bennett and Coach Kilbride make another run at a state championship trophy. Another team that had a memorable season was Naperville North. The Huskies were also undefeated in their conference with a record of 10-0 in the DVC while going 30-4 overall. North didn't lose its first game until a month into the season and had winning streaks of 12 and 15 during the course of the 2021-22 campaign. They were, of course, DVC champions as well as regional champions. As mentioned in the Bennett preview, North did fall in the sectional final to the Red Wings after a historic season. The team will have big shoes to fill with Hope Anacito heading to the State University of New York in Canton, Sarah Crossa committing to Tufts University, and 2,000 career point scorer Mackenzie Hare going to Marquette. Head coach Aaron Coletti will have key returnees Peyton Fenner, Abby Drendel, Layla Henderson, and Abby Holman all back for their senior years. The Huskies look to ride their veteran leadership to another DVC title and possibly an even deeper run in the playoffs this winter. The regular season was up and down for the Waubonsie Valley Warriors. The team was competitive in the DVC at 5-5 with a 16-14 mark overall. The green and gold alternated wins and losses all season, but managed to finish strong with an impressive regional title victory over 22-win Plainfield North. Just like Naperville North, Waubonsie was stopped by the powerful Bennett Academy team in the sectional semifinal, but a championship run in the regionals could give the Warriors momentum heading into this season. 7 seniors graduated from the program, including Amari Banks, Meredith Martins, Devin Lynch, and Lauren Threed. The dynamic duo of Taylor Curry and Hannah Lobb is back. However, Lobb injured her knee this past spring during softball season, so the Warriors hope to have her back on the court at some point this winter. Dub V does get a big addition to the team in Kalia Reed, who transferred from Mattia Valley after the District 204 boundary change. Waubonsie Valley hopes to get healthy and take a big leap this season. The Naperville Central Redhawks, led by legendary coach Andy Nussbaum, were another team that dealt with some inconsistencies last season. They finished just a game above 500 at 14-13. However, they were strong during DVC play with a 7-3 record and ended up in second place behind their crosstown rivals Naperville North. The Redhawks were unable to carry that level of play into the postseason as they dropped a regional semifinal matchup to Oswego East. Now they'll have to replace the departures of Haley Hayes, Aditi Prasad, and Trinity Strang. Central will return Ella Burke, Kendall Lentz, Megan Norquette, and Callie Tumulty. With 8 seniors on this year's squad, the Redhawks look to use experience to their advantage in trying to take another step forward in the DVC race. Just like several of our teams in this preview, the Neuqua Valley Wildcats struggled to find consistency. They did have a winning record overall at 15-13, but slipped a bit in the DVC, going 4-6. Their best stretch of the season was a 4-game winning streak in the month of January. However, in the playoffs, the Cats were eliminated in the regional semifinal as they were knocked out by Plainfield East. The team also loses multiple seniors in Shannon Gillespie, Allison Hoffman, Elizabeth George, and Maya Clifford. The good news is that the Wildcats keep the same key core, with Zoe Navarro, Kylie Norkis, Tia Paulakidis, and Caitlin Washington all back playing their 3rd straight season together. We'll see if this experienced group can propel Neuqua to the top of the conference standings in girls basketball. The Metea Valley Mustangs were consistent a season ago. Unfortunately, that consistency came in the loss column of the standings. MV was just 3-24 and had a winless DVC record at 0-10. Despite the trying season, they did have some bright spots, including Kalia Reed, who led the Mustangs in scoring. However, the aforementioned Reed is now a member of Waubonsie Valley, but she is the only key player who will not return. Lucy Burke, Caitlin Klisch, Jamie Nosek, and Raina Pentola look to fill the void left by Reed as they continue their careers with the black and gold. Pentola and company hope to motivate the team to its first winning season since 2015.
Hypnotize your way to savings.
Breathing techniques to help you save.
Looking to make saving a habit?
Yeah, what's the secret?
No secret. Just open a savings account at BMO and we'll give you a cash reward for every month you save.
A cash reward?
Just for saving.
And when you open a checking account, we'll give you a $200 bonus to get your new savings habit started.
Love that.
What's your book?
How to get a $200 bonus and a monthly cash reward for saving with BMO.
He literally wrote the book on saving.
That's me on the cover.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect.
We live in a safe community, but not a crime-free community. If you see something, say something. Be a Naperville Crime Stopper.
We switch from the courts to the ice. Is another Blackhawk Cup championship run in the cards this winter? Anthony Jensch gives a closer look at hockey.
Starting off our hockey preview with the Bennett Academy Red Wings. It was another good season for the Black and Red as they finished off the 2021-2022 regular season with a 17-3 record. However, after winning the Kennedy Cup in 2021, the Wings were swept in the Kennedy Cup final last winter by St. Ignatius. In the Red Division of the Blackhawk Cup, the team from Lisle turned a lot of heads when they beat a strong Glenbrook North team by a score of 4-3 in double overtime. Bennett's season would come to an end at the hands of the number 1 seeded team in New Trier Green in the quarterfinals. A group of talented players from last season will be missed this season, such as Tommy Budrick, Cristiano Di Benedetto, and Ryan Farrago. Returning players like William Janis, Zandis Hoover, and Cole Rosenthal will be key going forward this season. Currently, the Red Wings sit with a 5-2-1 record in the CCHL. The Naperville Central Redhawks had a tough season last year, only winning 3 games. One of the highlights of the season was beating crosstown rivals Naperville North in a thrilling 4-3 game early in the conference season. This season will be a much different year for the Hawks. The club didn't have enough players to put together a JV and varsity roster, so this year the team will be competing in the JV level of the Illinois West Hockey League. Later on in the season, when the AHAI state tournament starts, the Redhawks will be playing in the Red Division of the varsity tournament. Central will also be competing once again in the annual Carillon Cup. After having to wait 2 years to defend their state title, the Warriors Hockey Club came into the 2021-2022 season the favorites to defend said title. The team finished the conference season with an impressive 25-1 record, winning yet another Carillon Cup and the Illinois West regular season crown. However, the Warriors got swept by Maine in the Illinois West Championship Series. With the state title still up for grabs, the Warriors started the Blackhawk Cup with a huge 6-0 win over District 155, then taking down Libertyville and CCHS in the next rounds to move on to the Blackhawk Cup final against familiar conference foe Wheaton West. In a closely contested game, Ryan Burke scored the game-winning goal to give the Warriors the 4-3 win and capture their third combined Division Cup. The Warriors lost a good amount of talented seniors, but some key returning players include Owen Cope, Ryan Burke, Jack Poitamani, and Evan Ziegler. Currently, the hockey club has a 7-4 record. Our lone girls hockey team is the Naperville Valley Warriors. The squad is made up of players from all 6 of our local schools, and also players from Oswego, Oswego East, Plainfield East, and Bolingbrook. Competing in the Chicago Metro Girls League, the team started this season unbeaten in their first 4 games. They finished the season with a 7-10-1 record. The Warriors' season ended in the first round of the playoffs to Barrington by a scoreline of 5-1. Currently, the girls sit at a 2-2-1 record. The Huskies of Naperville North had a strong season last year, finishing the season with a 22-11 record. The team made it to the round of 16 in the Blackhawk Cup after taking down Marist and Neuqua Valley before eventually falling to number 2 seeded Loyola Gold. The Blue and Orange took a massive hit to the roster this season after losing 13 seniors. Some of those players include Zach Zuspin, Ben and Nick Lombardi, Sean Danker, Patrick Hennessy, and Seth Rang. With only 5 returning players this year, the Huskies are off to a rough 1-10 start, but still have time to right the ship. Our final team is Neuqua Valley. The Wildcats had an up-and-down season last year. One of the highlights of the regular season was beating Lyons Township by a score of 12-1. In the Blackhawk Cup, the Blue and Yellow took down Loyola Maroon by a score of 2-0 to advance to the round of 32. In the next round, Neuqua played Naperville North, and after a back-and-forth game, the Huskies scored a last-minute goal to knock the Wildcats out by a scoreline of 3-2. Good news for Neuqua is that a lot of players have returned this season, including Rocco Ramita, who currently leads the Illinois West Hockey League with 18 goals so far this season. Along with key contributors like Trenton Fisk, Timothy Coggin, and Aiden Weiselglad, the Wildcats are off to an 8-4 start and look ready to compete for the top of the Illinois West.
Let's take a dive into the pool and check out our preview for boys swimming and diving. Joe Kennedy tells us what teams will be making a splash in the water this season.
We start off with your 2022 DuPage Valley Conference champions, the Neuqua Valley Wildcats. After losing a very talented senior class in 2021, last season the Cats went undefeated in conference dual meets and finished off the year with a conference championship. They weren't done there, though. In the IHSA sectionals, Neuqua's team score of 216 saw them take home that title by 33 points and send all 3 relay teams to state on top of several individuals. One of those individuals is now sophomore diver Nathan Melanowski, who placed first at the diving sectional. Another returning diver for the Wildcats is senior Thomas Kiefer, who placed 2 spots behind Melanowski at sectionals. On the swimming side, Dima Kondrashev and Stefan Anderson are 2 notable returnees, each of whom swam at state for the Wildcats. Neuqua Valley head coach Chad Allen expands on what other Wildcat swimmers can have an impact this year.
You know, I think we had a couple guys last year that did a great job for us. Alex Parkinson, he swam along with Aiden Dunn, who graduated last year in the 500 free, and they would push each other every day in practice. So he'll be one of the top 500 freestylers in the state. So we're excited to have him back. And then Ryan Emmons is also a junior. Had a great year last year and was part of a relay. So those are a couple of juniors that we're expecting big things out of.
We now move on to the Waubonsie Valley Warriors, who finished just 15.5 points behind Neuqua Valley at the 2022 DVC Championship. The 2021 conference champions are poised for another great year in the pool. They return Ethan Huen and Sam Lohman from their 200-yard medley relay team that placed 4th at state, which also broke the school's 200-yard record. Gone from that relay are Nathaniel Jefferson and Arnav Deshpande. Deshpande ended his Warrior career on a high note after finishing 5th in state in the 100-yard freestyle and 2nd for the 100-yard backstroke. Another notable returnee is Kian Lamb, who as a sophomore placed 11th at state in the 100-yard backstroke. Waubonsie opens their season on December 12th at home against St. Charles East and Hinsdale Central. The Naperville Central Redhawks finished in 3rd at the 2022 DVC Championship. The Redhawks put an impressive showing at last year's sectional finals. where they finished third behind Plainfield North and Neuqua Valley. Graduating from their 2022 sectional first place 200-yard relay team are Henry Wagner, Caleb Yao, and Stephen Mander. That leaves now senior Alex Lakin as the lone returnee from that group. Lakin placed third in the 100-yard breaststroke at the sectional finals and ended the year with an 8th place finish at state. Junior Sam Lenzion is back in the pool this winter for Naperville Central. He finished third at sectionals in the 100-yard butterfly and competed at state in that race. On the diving board, junior Brady Betchel is back for the Red Hawks, who placed second at the sectional finals. The Matea Valley Mustangs returned one of the best swimmers in the DVC with senior Jaden Gamilla. The recent University of Michigan commit broke the DVC Championship meet 200-yard individual medley last winter with a time of 1 minute and 53.58 seconds. At the state meet, Gamilla finished 4th in the 200-yard individual medley and 3rd in the 100-yard breaststroke. He was joined by Tyler Leslie, George Wang, and Henry Marchand in the 200-yard freestyle relay team that placed 3rd in sectionals. Leslie and Wang have graduated, but Marchand remains with the program. Wang, last year's conference 100-yard freestyle champion, now swims collegiately at Denison University in Ohio. For Naperville North, last season included a lot of valuable experience for some underclassmen. Their 200-yard medley relay team that competed at state returns 3 swimmers. Gone from the bunch is Tyson Berg, and returning are seniors Adrian Lamb and juniors Jonathan Wang and Ethan Herscher. Wang finished the DVC Championship meet as the winner in the 50-yard freestyle and second in the 100-yard backstroke. His 3rd place finish in the 100-yard backstroke at sectionals was enough to compete at state last year. The team will jump into their season on December 3rd when they travel to the Barrington Boys Swim and Dive Invite. We now finish up with the Bennett Academy Red Wings, who placed 5th in the MCAC Championships last year. The Red Wings will bring back all 4 swimmers from their state qualifying 200-yard medley relay team. From that squad is junior Jacob Yuckness and seniors Brendan Smith, Jack Hansen, and Jack Larson. Larson finished 0.02 seconds ahead of Nico's Dima Kondrashev in the sectional final 50-yard freestyle. That effort helped him represent the Red Wings individually at state. Smith is another Bennett swimmer that competed individually at sectionals last year, where he placed 5th in the 100-yard breaststroke. Bennett will start their season on December 2nd when they travel to Downers Grove South for a duel.
In these complicated times, local news has never been more important. DailyHerald.com lets you stay connected to your community, wherever you are.
It's only Q4, Susan.
We were there when your 4th cold brew felt like a heart attack.
Oh, no. Cold brew has a lot of caffeine in it.
We were there for that.
Fair.
And we're here for everything else. Here it's personal, because we get to know you.
Now we head to the mats. Patrick Cotto will walk you through the wrestling preview.
Let's start off with the area's wrestling powerhouse, Naperville Central, who is looking to continue their success despite the graduation of a strong senior class. Under head coach Noah Fitzenreiter, the Redhawks won the 2019 DVC title, along with the Marmion Regional title in 2020. In 2021, the Red and White went 4-1 in the DVC, with that lone conference loss to another wrestling powerhouse in DeKalb. Key wrestlers like Tommy Porter, 152-pound state qualifier Aiden Lutz, and Tristan Hall were seniors that moved on, but Fitz knows it's next man up on the mats.
The ones that are ready can come up and get on the mat with some of our best kids, and our seniors and our varsity guys do a really good job of not just helping the younger guys, but teaching them, how to be successful in the sport. It seems like every year, a really good group leaves, but we're bringing back even more, really tough, hard-nosed kids that understand what the program's about.
The good news is that 3 major contributors return for another year. In state qualifier at 126 pounds, Ethan Olson, as well as Nico Bastorio and Ty Martin. The Hawks will also be starting up a girls team this season after the IHSA hosted its first female wrestling sectional last winter. Their first match on the mats will be the Naperville Quad on November 26. Let's jump to the north side with Naperville North. It's been a pair of below-average years for the Husky wrestling team, but last year's squad saw a large number of underclassmen walk into the wrestling room, so there's much more returning experience for the Blue and Orange this winter. The Huskies qualified 2 wrestlers to the sectionals, but each came up just short of the state series. Ben Messier is the only returning qualifier after losing regional champ Cameron Clark at 145 pounds to graduation. Now Messier, along with Zach Malley, Tyler Sternstein, Aiden Hinkle, and Matt Murphy, return for what could be an exciting year. The Huskies' first match of the season is a duel against Hinsdale Central on November 22nd. Moving on to the original Valley, Waubonsie Valley, as they will have many new faces on the mats after losing grapplers like three-time state qualifier Antonio Torres, followed by sectional qualifiers Ashton Phillips and Jacob Haussauer. However, many underclassmen like Ethan Wojtowicz, Bryce Povis, and Ari Ariza returned for another season after getting varsity experience a year ago. Those three, along with others involved in the wrestling room under head coach Brad Caldwell, hope to get the Warriors back to their winning ways starting on November 23rd in the Plainfield North Quad. Down we go to Waubonsie's District 204 rival, Neuqua Valley. 2019-2020 was the last time the Wildcats had a state qualifier and are hoping to get that opportunity this season. Three sectional qualifiers are back in Arjun Bharadwaj, Silvana Spadafora, and Max Nuradinov. Ryan Moeller, who saw a lot of time at quarterback for the Cats this fall, also returns for another season after an injury ended his 2021 campaign. If the Wildcats want to have a successful run and qualify more grapplers to the state series, that always starts with a challenging schedule, and first on the list is the Lincoln Way East Tri-Meet on November 23rd. We wrap up with Metea Valley, who went through another coaching change in Kevin Garbus taking over the Mustang program as the fourth head coach. With the new leader helping these Mustangs on the mats wrestle their way to success, Garbus will have a new fresh bunch coming into the 2022 campaign. A couple of key returners will be Pat Mullen and Avery Hogsted, who will help lead the way for the Black and Gold. Their first day of competition is at Wheaton Warrenville South on November 23rd.
We stay on the mats, but this time it's the girls' gymnastics preview. Alex Campbell tells us about a big change taking place for several of our local schools.
The big news in the local girls' gymnastics scene is the formation of the District 204 Co-op, which is made up of the members of the Waubonsie Metea Co-op and Neuqua Valley. So athletes from all three 204 schools are now teammates. Combining the returning talent on the roster should make District 204 a formidable group, with junior Haley Mitchell, who impressed as a sectional qualifier for the Waubonsie Metea Co-op the past 2 seasons, back in the fold. Lauren Cordero, who qualified for sectionals in the all-around for Neuqua, returns alongside fellow Wildcat Zara Jin. Lucia Caruso is an exciting freshman who appears ready to contribute right away. Stephanie Svek from Waubonsie Valley returns for her senior season after being an all-conference team member in the uneven bars and the floor exercise, as do Gabby Palm and Mahalaxmi Some. Susan Jones and Amelia Wachtel are key losses. However, due to the deeper talent pool to choose from, this D204 squad is well suited to compete for a deep postseason run. Naperville North was the strongest local team a season ago after the Huskies won the Hinsdale Central Regional Championship. Ridgely Jump, who finished in 11th at state in the parallel bars, has since graduated, along with fellow all-around state qualifier Katie Crystal and fellow seniors Dana Blakely and Kaya Smith. The cupboard is not bare for the blue and orange, however, as Abby Aldrich, who was a sectional qualifier in the all-around as well, is back for her senior year. Head coach Christian Stanisek says that Samara Connolly and Aaron Arnold have made big strides over the summer and are more than ready to make the leap from JV to the varsity ranks. Freshman Kate Allfield will also be one to watch as a top newcomer in the area. Naperville Central is happy to return Gabby Tapia for her junior campaign after she was frequently one of the team's top performers a season ago. However, the Redhawks will need to replace Namrata Bhattacharjee, who bounced back from injury to help her team down the stretch last season. Veteran seniors Aaron Gagora, Camilla Bonta, and Anna Chi have also moved on via graduation. However, Central will return more talent with valuable experience in the form of sophomore Alana Williams and senior Tammy Bajek. Avani Prasad is a newcomer to watch for the red and white this season.
Hypnotize your way to savings.
Breathing techniques to help you save.
Looking to make saving a habit?
Yeah, what's the secret?
No secret. Just open a savings account at BMO and we'll give you a cash reward for every month you save.
A cash reward?
Just for saving.
Mm-hmm. And when you open a checking account, we'll give you a $200 bonus to get your new savings habit started.
Love that.
What's your book?
How to get a $200 bonus and a monthly cash reward for saving with BMO.
He literally wrote the book on saving.
That's me on the cover.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect.
For our final preview of the show, we have bowling. Marcel Francis and Justin Cornwell let you know which teams will be making noise on the lanes this winter.
MUST! MUST! AUGS! AUGS! FB! Mustangs! FB! Mustangs! Go Mustangs!
Over the past 5 to 6 seasons of girls bowling, there has been a bit of a rotation between teams that have taken control of the DVC conference standings. Of course, Waubonsie Valley had its dominant run under Hall of Fame head coach Marty Miller until his retirement in 2017. Then Neuqua Valley took a turn rising to the top, but the past 3 seasons, Metea Valley has clearly been the team to beat. This past season, the Mustangs not only won the DVC, but qualified for state as a team for just the 3rd time in program history. Metea was anchored by a talented senior-led roster, which unfortunately means that a lot of top talent from recent years have graduated, including Elizabeth Mansmith, Jasmine Allen, Holly Dudlasek, Michaela Graves, and of course Sydney Lewis. While that leaves a lot of holes to fill, head coach Kristen Mansmith has done a great job building the program during her tenure, and she's excited to see who's ready to step up into the spotlight for the black and gold. Senior Shelly Hess, junior Helena Garcia, and sophomore Ava Babiar are 3 key returnees with varsity experience. Waubonsie Valley Girls Bowling won 6 state trophies from 2008 through 2017, including back-to-back state titles in 2013 and 2014. But the Warriors have not qualified for sectionals as a team, let alone state, since 2017. The Warriors still have a lot of work to do if they want to get back to that level, but the team should have a good amount of returning experience this winter. Despite the loss of talented senior Caitlin Clark, Ansley Atwater, Cassidy LaRocco, sophomore Sam Weirtalak, and 3 seniors Sophia Trevino, Mackenzie Andrajak, and Abby Walton all hope to build on their improvements for the green and gold. Neuqua Valley has been a strong, steady program under head coach Kathy Lotak. However, the last 2 seasons were clearly rebuilding years. The rosters have been made up with many first-time competitive bowlers. The biggest bright spot for the Wildcats last year was senior Olivia Hernandez, who led the team in scoring every time she rolled and qualified for sectionals as an individual. Elam Issa is the top returner for the team, but Kushi Patel, Adya Agarwal, Srila Munukutla, Chloe Tang, and Anna Kane also gained plenty of experience for NV last season. Let's turn to District 203, and if one team is ready to pounce as a potential dark horse for the conference crown, it's Naperville Central. The Redhawks program has improved mightily in recent years and boasts plenty of returning talent for the 2022-23 season. While the spirited efforts of graduating senior Jada Armstrong will be missed, Central will still have Sky Sanford, a sectional qualifier and daughter of Naperville North boys head bowling coach Toby Sanford, back for her senior campaign. Teresa Duffrin, Sydney Hurst, Brooklyn Hinton, and Tanaya Little Seegers are also major varsity team members who round out the lineup. With one of the most experienced rosters in the conference, not only should the Redhawks be a competitor for the conference crown, first ever team qualification for sectionals is not out of the question.
1, 2, 3, Huskies!
Naperville North Girls Bowling wraps up our preview. The Huskies had an up-and-down season a year ago, at times looking impressive with wins over teams like Naperville Central, but also left a few chances for victories slip away. It will certainly be tough to replace top bowlers Alexis Wright and Bibi Grimaldo, who both graduated in the spring. But there are still several bowlers more than capable of helping the Huskies compete for a strong season. Anna Child, Ellie Connor, Caitlin Randall, Ava Weishar, and Alicia Romero all had moments where they showcased the ability to lead the team on the score sheet. At the very least, this group should be well suited to put up a fight in every DVC match and compete for sectional qualification.
From the fields outside to the lanes indoors, the winter bowling season is underway as crosstown rivals Naperville North and Naperville Central both enter Year 6 of their respective programs. Can a team make it to state for boys bowling for the first time in DVC history? To do so, they must keep their eyes on the ball. So let's now explore both teams as they roll into the season. At the LaSalle Peru Cavalier Classic, the Redhawks broke 5 school records and 2 district records, finished top 3 at regionals, and made it to sectionals, finishing in 13th while having their second best IHSA playoff performance ever with a series score of 58-01. The Redhawks graduated 8 seniors, including their lead bowler, Matthew Reedy. However, head coach Brian Dunn has almost his entire team returning from last season's triumphs. Nate Taverna, Aiden Lee, and Tommy Kradenpoff are returning as sophomores, along with senior Ethan Rupp, and Aiden's older brother Sean has joined the squad this season. Coach Dunn has the keys to the safe as a mix of underclassmen and upperclassmen fill the team with plenty of playoff experience in hopes that they can make their trip downstate to O'Fallon after 4 consecutive sectional appearances. Can Coach Dunn crack the code to unlock their first state appearance in District 203 history? He believes so.
Well, there's a lot of high expectations for the team. The goal last year was to make it to state. And there was a lot of disappointment when, even though we bowled well at sectionals, it just wasn't enough that day. That day was just a lot of teams, quote unquote, had a day, and they had great days. And we just didn't raise our level that much to meet them. We were still over average for the day, but it just fell short. This year, that's not part of the thought equation with them. It's state or nothing, and it will. I got a good feeling it can be state this year. And they're not talking about just getting to state. They're talking about getting to bowling on the last day of that season, and there's only 12 teams left instead of the 24 that start. And not just those 12, they want to make noise and they want to bring home a trophy.
The Redhawks began their season at Lyle Lanes last Saturday in the 9th annual Baker Classic Invite, finishing in second place to Lincoln Way West with a team score of 32-25 out of 28 schools around the Chicagoland area. With their bright start to the season, the Redhawks hope they can soar to new heights with a promising roster loaded with talent. The Naperville North Huskies, aka the Bulldogs, are coming off a solid outing last season, finishing 8th at regionals, and are looking to improve on last season with a new crop of young bowlers led by Huskies head coach Toby Sanford. North lost their best bowlers in program history in the twin brothers Jake and Josh Gunther, whom both averaged scores of 208 and 187 last season respectively. But they reload, bringing back plenty of talent from last season. Husky returners include twin brothers David and Steven Thompson, Johnny Hodges, Max Alexandrov, who had an impressive freshman campaign, team captain Holden Randall, and Ian Rogers, who already scored a personal best at the Baker Classic this season. Looking ahead, Coach Sanford and the Bulldogs' goals are focused on improving their bowlers individually and as a team.
So this year's less about focusing on results and more focusing on growth. We've got a lot of opportunity, and even in the first few weeks, seeing guys improving their games. A great thing about bowling is that every frame is a new set of pins, 10 pins to knock down, and we're really encouraging a positive mindset. Guys encouraging each other, helping each other to become better bowlers for every frame.
The Huskies hope to do just that as their schedule sees Oswego East, St. Charles East, Lake Park, Romeoville, Andrew, and of course Naperville Central just in the month of November. Naperville North home matches will be at the Fox Bowl in Wheaton.
That'll do it for our winter sports preview show. We couldn't be more excited about what's to come for our local teams this season. Next week, we'll be back to our regular show as we tip things off with girls basketball and hockey. Don't forget, we're always online. Check us out on our website for extended highlights and stories at nctv17.org. You can also find us on social media at nctv17 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Josiah Schuneman. Thanks for watching.